Hey, welcome back again. Let's continue on with the recent trip in Cebu from May and June this year. I think I mentioned before that we had landed, or I had landed, and we had gone to stay at a condo for a couple of days just to sort of get some, have a bit of time together. And then from there we went on a sort of a bit of a loop trip down the eastern coast, down around and back around and up again. We didn't do the whole way down or the whole way up, but we sort of went, we went out and we went down to Dalaguete because on my first trip there I'd stayed in the Sea View Mansion, I think it was called, up on the hill in Dalaguete. I really liked the place. I liked the view and I liked it, and I wanted to take her there to have a look at that. So we went there and stayed there for one night. The whole point of this trip kind of was obviously for us to hang out, but also for us to go and do some stuff that I'd done previously and wanted to try doing with somebody else, and some bits of it that I hadn't done before that I wanted to do. So she was keen to go to the monastery down there, that Mama Monastery, or the Monastery of the Holy Eucharist, I think it's called. So in Cebu, somewhere like that. I can't remember the name of it exactly. I'm sorry. But we hired the car and we drove 4 hours down, and we stayed at Dalaguete for the night. We went into the town, found some food to eat, and just kind of hung out there for the afternoon and evening. And then the next morning we woke up and went up to the monastery, and we got there and it was all right. But as we got there, it started to rain, and rain, I mean, what do you expect? May, June is the rainy season, so it started to rain. So we got a little bit wet, and then we were sort of inside and we had a look around there, and then walking up, and there was a massive queue, this huge, I think it was on a Saturday or a Sunday, maybe even a Sunday, and I just didn't think about that a monastery would be full of people on a Sunday. Who would have thought, right? And this queue was absolutely huge, like so long. I don't know what it was for, so I was like, oh, we'll walk down to the front and see it. And it was kind of to get into I think out the back of the monastery, you can sort of, I don't know if you have to pay or if you have to wait your turn, and you go around and they have services, not in the main part, but in another part out the back, and they're all queuing for that. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't fully understand what was going on, but the queue was probably 3 hours long, so we weren't waiting in that. And also it was, by that stage, absolutely smashing rain. Not like my first trip. The first trip I went there was one of the hottest days I've ever been in, and it was sunny and about 400 million degrees. But this one, pretty wet. So we spent a bit of time in the main part of the monastery, just sort of having a look around, and Lynn was doing a bit of, introspection, I guess, praying, I guess. I'm not wildly into all of that sort of stuff, but I do like looking at these sort of places. So I was enjoying it, and we both had a good time and had a look around, and then came back out, and yeah, would have been nicer if it wasn't raining, but that's what you get. If you go traveling to the Philippines in the rainy season, some days you get rained on. So luckily this trip I'd hired a car, so we didn't get like absolutely rained on we did. Well, by the time we'd left there and walked back down in the rain to the car, we'd bought an umbrella along the way, and that sort of kept her pretty dry, mostly dry. I, on the other hand, was not dry. I felt like I just jumped in a swimming pool. I was that wet. So I got back to the car and changed some clothes in the car, and off we went again. Incidentally, I was wearing shorts, but they were kind of down past my knees, and she was also wearing shorts that she wasn't allowed in. So we had to walk back down. There's a few little stores and stuff on the side of the road, and so we had to go and buy a pair of pants for her to wear to get into the place, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, that seems obvious, I guess, when you think about it, going into like a religious place, like a church or whatever. And to be brutally honest, when we were back in Cebu, we went to one of the old churches right next to Magellan's Cross, and went to go in there, and the same thing happened. They were like, you can't come in with shorts on. And we're like, yeah, we did have that issue before and didn't think about it again. So we didn't end up going in that other church back there. We did get to look at Magellan's Cross though. Anyway, that was that. So from there we went sort of back down the coast a little bit, and then across to the western coast, where I stayed the last time, just at the entrance to Kawasan Falls, with the intention of that next day getting up early and going canyoneering, because the idea was if we got up early, we'd be some of the first ones in there and we wouldn't have the massive crowds to deal with. We'd be able to do it all and away we'd go. I got a stack of footage from that. So I'll probably make a video just on that coming up, probably next time or the week after, I'm not sure yet, but I'll make a video about that separately. So yeah, we did that, and then after we travelled up to Moalboal and spent, I think, 2 or 3 nights there at a place called Tropics, which was not in the main section of Moalboal. It was kind of out a little bit, but that was fine. We just kind of wanted to have some, you know, a bit of a relax there. And if I'm completely honest, I think we both we didn't realise how much the canyoneering was going to be physical, right? Like, it's quite a long hike, and swimming and jumping and climbing and all the stuff. I was pretty tired by the end of it, but I think she was not ready for it and has quite sore leg muscles for the next couple of days afterwards. So a couple of days just chilling out and relaxing in Moalboal was probably what we needed. So we did that. I'll show you some video footage of the tropics there, and you can have a look at it. It's a nice place. It's not right in the main section, so if you wanted to go down into the main area of the town, and you kind of had to catch a trike or we had the car, but it's very hard to find parking down in there, so you need to kind of get a trike ride into there, and it's probably, maybe it's like 10 or 15 minutes to get in there on the trike. But you're right near the main part, like the centre of town, not the touristy part of town, but the centre of town where the Jollibee is and things like that. And there's lots of carenderias and other things that you can sort of eat and do around there anyways, which is what we did most of the time that we were there. We had kind of thought about going like swimming with the sardines and whatnot, but I guess we were both just a bit stuffed after the big hike and didn't end up doing any of that. We kind of just hung out, which was good. It's nice, relaxing in the pool and whatnot. From there, we went further up the west coast, north, and spent one night basically up that coast there at a place that I stayed last time. I'm not going to go into it this time because we kind of went there with the intention of there's not much else around there, and we'd go there and swim in the pool and relax and eat and just have a night relaxing there in the pool there. And they didn't tell us that the pool was getting renovation work done on it. So we got there and they'd moved us from the room which was next to the pool, which was a bigger room, into a smaller room. And then the pool wasn't open, and it ended up, they still charged us the same, but yeah, we didn't have access to anything. And for a large part of the time that we were there, all you could hear was them working, like, you know, workmen smashing away on the pool, whatever they were doing. I don't know, it was noisy. So that was, I won't say sort of the place and whatnot, but it was a bit disappointing that they didn't warn us before coming that, you know, it's pretty expensive actually for where it is, and didn't have anything available, which was a little, look, it's not the end of the world. You're in a tropical paradise. What are you going to do? But it'd be nice to have been told. Anyway, moving on. But there's a lot of beautiful stuff in just when you're traveling in the car, or preferably, like I love going on a motorbike, but this trip it was good that we were in the car because it rained a fair bit. So the views are still really nice. It doesn't matter if you go in the rainy season, you get a lot of sun, you get a lot of rain, but it's still beautiful and it's worthwhile going. And the other thing is, when you're traveling with your own mode of transport, instead of taking a bus or something like that, you can kind of do not weird, but little detours. So we're leaving on that day before we went back over the mountain, and we're driving along, and as we're coming up this road, I just see a sign that sort of says, you know, 50 metres or 200 metres or however long further ahead was a waterfall, like an arrow pointing up this road, and it was like 500 metres. I'm like, let's go have a look at that. Because like normally to get to some of these waterfalls, you've got to hike in, you know, maybe 20 minutes or half an hour or 45 minutes, or you got to drive all the way up into the mountains to get to them, or whatever it is. This one's 500 metres. I'm like, it's probably not that great, but we'll go have a quick look. So I think it was called like Mantayupan, I think. Mantayupan Falls. So we get there and it's like, you know, I don't know, it was quite cheap to get in. I can't remember how much. Maybe it was like 50 pesos or 30 pesos or something like that. It was quite cheap. And you walk in, there's nice sort of it's nice. There's these like, I don't know what you call them, plant things that are dangling down. It's nice. You're sort of walking underneath that. And then there's this bridge, like a suspension bridge. It's quite steep. It doesn't, you can see it in the video here, but it doesn't look that steep in the video, but it was like this, which is pretty, maybe it's not that, but maybe it was that, but it was quite steep. And most Filipinos are walking on it. They're little, right? So they're walking on it and it just does sort of, it's pretty steady when they're walking on it, but they're still holding on because it's quite high. I, on the other hand, are quite big and pretty heavy. And so I'm walking on it and every step I take, I realize that it's, the bridge is like bouncing just a little bit. But as I step, if I time my steps right, the bridge bounces more and more and more. I thought that was great. I didn't think about everybody else. So I'm like walking, bouncing this bridge along and sort of bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and everyone's sort of going, whoa, holding on, freaking out a little bit, which was pretty funny. Anyway, I thought that was funny. But it was cool. The bridges were quite high and it's very, very steep and you can look down onto this bottom part of the waterfall and then you come up over the top off this bridge and there's this huge waterfall. There's a bit you can swim in here, but the waterfall, I'm trying to remember, I think it was like 96 meters high. It's very high. Like it's hard to see in the photos and videos just how high it is. If you look at the people at the bottom of it swimming, it's huge. It's very big. And for how cheap it was and how easy it was to get to, and just to go and swim, there was not many people there. It was really good. I mean, it was probably a Wednesday or a Thursday by then, I'm guessing. If I'm just trying to remember what the timing would have been, maybe 2, 3, yeah, like maybe a Wednesday or something like that. So maybe a Thursday. So maybe that's why everyone's working or school or whatever they were doing. That's why there wasn't many people there in the middle of the day. But yeah, that was pretty cool. We didn't swim. We just had a bit of a look because we didn't even know it was there. So we didn't plan to go there. We weren't really prepared. But it was nice. It was real nice. Definitely, like if you're in that area, I'd go and have a look. Yeah. And that was it. From there, we sort of jumped back in the car and continued up and over the hill and got some coffee and went to all the other places over there, which I'll show in the next video and or in one of the next videos. And that was really kind of it. Cebu's awesome. Like if you've never been, it's definitely worth going. And if you are there, like you already know it's awesome, but there's so many things. Like I went there once and I thought I'd done a lot and I'm still finding new stuff. I feel like if you stayed in Cebu for a year or 3 years, you'd probably be finding new stuff still. Like there's so many cool waterfalls and places to go and things to do and see and hikes to do, and it's just cool. I like it. And the city itself is cool as well. Like but there's so many things to do in the city. We didn't get to do all of it, but you'll see in the coming videos. But yeah, it's very cool. There's lots of stuff to do. Cebu, if you're looking for a place to go for a holiday, obviously there's, you can go to Bohol, there's nice beaches, or Boracay, there's amazing beaches there, but lots of tourists and whatnot. But if you just want something a little bit different, the beaches at the northern parts of Cebu, pretty awesome. Down that west coast, there's some pretty awesome beaches as well. And there's just lots of stuff to do there. Obviously whale sharks and things like that if you want to go swim with them. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I love Cebu, it's good. Definitely going to visit other places too, because I love other places too, but Cebu's an awesome place, especially if you're thinking about a place to go and live over there. I think Manila's just too big and it's too city-y, if you know what I mean. Cebu, you can go there, you can be in Lapu-Lapu, you could be over, in the main city of Cebu, IT Park. There's lots of places to be, but at the end of it all, you can travel down, you can travel up. There's lots of places to go and visit. Waterfalls, it's very easy to get everywhere, and even there you've got the airport, so you want to fly to, I don't know, another part of the Philippines, you can fly straight there. You want to fly out of Cebu and go to Thailand for the week, you can. Like it's just a really good place to be. So yeah, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Next couple of videos you'll get to see a bit more. This video, you might have seen Lynn in there a little bit. She's going to probably be in more and more, I guess. Definitely be in more and more because we did everything together, so you'll see her more and more. And then, yeah, we might be making some new videos together at some point soon as well. Anyway, like, subscribe, all those sort of things. You know what? Most people that watch are not subscribers. I get that I don't subscribe to everything that I watch either, but if you're watching these and you think, oh, that was pretty interesting, if you could, that would be awesome. It costs you nothing and it really does actually help. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you next week.